Alright, I know the Z Fold 8 is not out yet, and I know that it's not even technically revealed yet. That's not until the Unpacked event. But that did not stop Benks from sending me out their case for the Galaxy Z Fold 8 Ultra. I'm very excited about this because Benks made my favorite aramid fiber case for the Z Fold 7, so I'm really curious whether or not the Z Fold 8 holds up to that standard. Now, like I said, Benks did send this out to me, but they have no say in what I say in the video. They don't get to see it beforehand. They're not paying me anything, and all thoughts and opinions are my own. That being said, let's get down to it. All right, so they went with the two-piece design again. They have the back piece hinge and front piece. The hinge is still not springy, which is probably one of my only problems with the case. Now, like I said, this is an aramid fiber case. The only design that they have available right now is their ArmorGrid, which is this pattern. They have it in the blue and the black. Unfortunately, their Aurora, like I had for the Z Fold 7, is not available yet, nor is their Montage or their straight up 600D black offering. These are 1500D, which means they're a little bit more lightly woven, got a little bit more texture to them. They make a more fun sound when you do this. I prefer them personally. I find the 600Ds a little bit too slick, but I know some people like it as minimalistic and as sleek as possible. And honestly, that's your preference, more power to you. All right, so one thing that is different this generation versus last is on this design, they have a new little logo here, a wave, which they also have on the inside. Before it was just the K for Kevlar because they do actually use the branded aramid fiber, not just generic aramid fiber, which is kind of interesting. That's really, honestly, the only difference that I can see between last year's and this year's. The Aurora does not have external branding like that. I actually don't know if this was there on last year's grid, but hey, if you do know, let me know down in the comments. I just know it's not on the Aurora. One thing that this brings to mind almost immediately is if it's so similar to the Z Fold 7 case, does it fit on the Z Fold 7? Do Z Fold 7 cases fit on the Z Fold 8? And the answer is sometimes, maybe, depends on the case, and we'll get to that in a moment. Just as soon as we finish looking at the insides of this, we have tape here to help it adhere better, as well as little pockets of space in the corners that does help a little bit with your shock absorption. That is one of the reasons why the Benks aramid fiber case is the only one that I was aware of for the Z Fold 7 generation of aramid fiber cases that met the military grade drop standard. Mostly aramid fiber is to prevent your case from getting scratched, maybe very small bumps, not generally your big drops, but the Benks one can do the military grade standard, which is excellent. That's good for most people. So let's go ahead and throw this on my Z Fold 8. And by Z Fold 8, I mean this is the dummy unit that Benks also sent out. So thank you, Benks, for that. Lets me play with it and lets me play with actually other cases as well to begin ahead of time. Oh, snaps on there nice. And there we go there. All right, you see, once again, this is the same design as before. Like I said, it's got the complete cutouts for the buttons. It's got the open area for the camera here. Just a real sleek looking case. Cutouts line up well with this dummy unit. Now, one thing I did just forget to do is weigh it. And while that does its thing, I'm going to throw the Z Fold 7 case on this dummy unit, and you can see where it also fits. The buttons aren't as centered because the buttons are moved down a little bit compared to the Z Fold 7. And the camera is also moved just a skosh, but because of the nature of the way Benks did their cutout, it doesn't interfere with the fit at all, which is rather nice. So does the Z Fold 7 case for Benks work on the Z Fold 8? If the dummy is correct, it does. Does, say, something like the Rinky Alice work? And you can see how it's bulging here, because with the interior bits here, it is not working well with the camera lenses since it doesn't line up. And not only that, the button cutout also doesn't line up. So these buttons would not control the button correctly. It's bulged out. This case would not work with the Z Fold 8 from the Z Fold 7. So like I said, it depends. You're going to have some companies that can get away with it and just selling their Z Fold 7 cases, Z Fold 8 cases, sure, why not? And some companies that can't. Anyway, back to the Benks unit. All right, so 38 grams, that's like a 17-ish% increase in weight. I didn't even need to pause there because this is the 7th time I have shot this video. I have apparently been infested with gremlins. Every time I turn around, something technical is going wrong. So this video is going to be as minimally edited and as sloppy and hopefully as quick as possible. Let's go ahead and show you that it fits on the Z Fold 7 fine. Yeah, it snaps right on. And to be honest, for the past few days, I have been using this as my Z Fold 7 case because it fits and it looks nice, and I didn't have this one before. So being the kind of person I am, I did that. Now this, I just showed inadvertently, but something I wanted to represent anyway, is why you need to use the tape on the front piece. You don't necessarily need to on the back. I have used the Z Fold 7 one with the tape, as you can see, still completely untouched. That's my Aurora tape, because it doesn't need any help sticking to the back. The front, however, you can see my tape is gone because I took it off and on and off and on until it no longer worked. That is because if you don't have the tape on, it will push up the front piece like this. So the tape is necessary, and that is common in Z Fold 7 cases with front pieces like this. But yes, as you can see, it fits the Z Fold 7 just fine. So taken all together, this thing is called the Grand Combo, the back piece, front piece, and screen protector, which I'm not going to put on because I don't need a screen protector on my dummy phone. Perhaps I will for the Z Fold 8 when I have one in hand and make a video about that. If you're interested about that, let me know down in the comments. Comments right down there underneath the subscribe button. This is the Grand Combo because it combines all of those things, and specifically the ArmorAir Grand Combo. Now they do have an Armor Pro series as well, but they have not released one of those for their folding cases yet. There was not one for the Z Fold 7. There has been one for like the 26 Ultra, and I've seen the one for the iPhone. But my rep did tell me that they are going to release the Armor Pro or the Z Fold 8, which makes me very excited. It's a more protective case. It incorporates TPU, if I recall correctly. And I need that sort of thing because I have a 7-year-old and 2 5-year-olds. So protecting my phone is a must. So very excited about that news. I can't technically test the MagSafe power. I can, however, test it on the Z Fold 7 to see if it at least is lined up enough well to charge. Whoop. That's what I get for rushing. All right, doing all right on the strength there. Let's go ahead and test it out the real way. 15.7, that's pretty good. 19.4, that is pretty good. That is quite good. So we're looking at upper side of average to above average as far as MagSafe strength goes. That's compared to the Z Fold 7 generation. I've noticed in the S26 Ultra that the magnets do seem to be getting stronger in the cases, so I expect my average to go up, but obviously I need to test a bunch of cases to get a new average, so we'll see in the future. But does it fit your larger MagSafe accessories? That is the question of the hour, because, and I talked to the Benks rep about this, they purposely accommodated for larger MagSafe accessories at the expense of potentially not being able to get the Qi 2 or 2.2 or whatever wireless charging the Z Fold 8 will be capable of. And let's see if that's true. Sure enough, all right, yeah. That's fitting on there just fine. Awesome. So yeah, it works with the large MagSafe accessories. That makes me extremely happy. Snap that on the Z Fold 7 real quick. All right, so it is charging. We are getting the fast wireless. That's the Qi 1. That's a Qi 1 number, 2 hours and 27 minutes. If it says fast wireless charging and it has one number and it does not move, that means it's the Qi 1. If it has one number and then it jumps to a lower number, that's the Qi 2. But I don't need to really make that caveat anymore because I can just show you on the little chargy thing. Now do recall this is with the Z Fold 7. Whether or not its coil is in the same place as Z Fold 8, I'm gonna have to assume no, because the camera shifted just a little bit, so I expect the coil to have shifted. But maybe it is. There's no way for me to tell. This is all a big, it might do this. All right, so we are looking at 10 watts. After you account for it accounting for overages and it charging the charger itself, that's about that 7.5 watts, which is the Qi 1 charging. So we are getting the Qi 2 charging on the Z Fold 7. Doesn't necessarily mean we won't get it on the Z Fold 8, but again, we'll see. Controller. Little light comes on, Backbone app opens. That means the controller is working. So it does work with your wider MagSafe accessories as well. This is not surprising. Very few aramid fiber cases don't work with the controllers because of how thin they are. And just because I know everyone loves the big honkin' charger, here is the big honkin' charger being held up and not askew on this case. So excellent, excellent job, Benks. This does stack up against the Z Fold 7 version, so I look forward to testing it in full, as well as maybe doing a video on thin grips, because Benks did send me their thin grip as well. And I think it's very cool that they have grips with designs that match their cases if you are fashion forward like that, if you consider things like that. And also their grip's very comfortable. I like their grip a lot. It is a thin grip. It's got like a little nylon straps on the inside, like that. Fold it back in like that. It's very comfortable. You can use it in this fashion. You can use it like this. And it even has a stand. So, pretty good stand too. This way you want it like that. So yeah, excellent grip, excellent case. This thing does get a tentative Purple Room seal of approval. Tentative because, like I said, I can't be 100% sure on anything I test until I have the actual Z Fold 8 in hand, which I will have as soon as I can. And I look forward to bringing you more videos on that, which you can find a playlist of here, which is probably just this video right now, but there will be other videos eventually. And this video is whatever YouTube thinks that you should watch next. Thank you again to Benks for sending this out for me to review. My name has been Steve. This has been another Purple Room review, and I will see you in the next one.